In this video, we're going to talk about creating and updating substitute parts inside of Autodesk Inventor. Now, previously with substitutes, we saw that we were able to create them through a couple different ways. We were able to create them through a derived assembly, selecting an existing part file, or by using a shrink wrap method. Now, whenever you create a substitute, a derived part is a unique type of derived part where it doesn't actually update based on changes done inside of the assembly. As an example, here in the Create Update Substitutes IAM from our Working Files directory, I'm going to open Substitute Derived Part explicitly. When this file is opened, you can tell that it is a derived part based on the icon here for the IAM being shown as a derived body. However, the icon that you see up top is a little bit different looking. Here it actually shows an IPT file with that substitute icon, that little L-shaped blue assembly kind of piece over top of it. If I right-click on my IAM derived body here, you can see the only options I have are to break the link. I can't suppress the link because there is no constant utilization of a link back and forth between these. So how do I force it to update when the assembly changes? If you right-click on the top node, you can actually have it check for updates to see if the assembly has changed since this was originally created. And then it will go through and reprocess the derived part and update this substitute. Based on that, you can probably tell that that would be really tedious back over here on the IAM to go through and create substitutes at every level of your design. Here I will activate the master level of detail in this one, and we're going to showcase a productivity command that you may like if you prefer the substitute method of workflow. On our productivity panel, one of the first commands we have up here is called Create Substitutes. If I choose Create Substitutes, what that will do is it will analyze my assembly, it will look for all the different subassembly names, and create substitute parts, and automatically create derives of those substitute parts. I can also give the level of detail a specified name. Here I'll just call it Substitute LOD. You can also put prefixes or suffixes on your naming scheme. Now, if I say OK to this, this will take a while to process. But what will happen is every subassembly that you see here will get its own substitute level of detail. It'll get its own level of detail representation called Substitute LOD and its own derived simplified substitute part. It also represents what that design is. Now, after you go through this routine and it generates those files, I'm going to hit cancel here. In order to update them without having to go to each one of them manually, you can choose the Update Substitutes command, and it will do the same thing. It will scan it looking for changes, and it will process those changes for your substitute parts as well as your substitute levels of detail.